Welcome to the Hot Springs Chamber of Commerce. I'm Dave Byerly, the President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. We always appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come celebrate with us some great news that we have. And again, today we certainly have some news that we want to share with you. I want to introduce Susan Altrui. I have to put on my glasses. Susan is the Director of Marketing and Development for the Little Rock Zoo. She's also the Director of the Arkansas Zoological Foundation. Under her direction in the last 12 months, the Little Rock Zoo has launched two major exhibits, the penguin exhibit and the cheetah exhibit. Collectively, that's about $3.5 million worth of projects that were under her leadership. Susan is also a part-time filmmaker with Let's Think Productions. Very notable that they recently completed a documentary on the former Texas Governor Ann Richards, and that's why Susan and I were late coming in here. We got talking about old Texas politics that I remember. But that documentary was recently awarded the Best Screenplay by the Guild Writers of America, so a very prestigious award. Susan was elected to the Hot Springs Documentary Film Festival Board of Directors in March of this year, and the things that have taken place since then are truly remarkable. So to learn a little bit about that and what's happening with the festival, I want to introduce Susan Altrui.
Well, thank you, Dave, and thank you to everyone who is here today. It's so great to see all of your bright, shining faces, and that you're so supportive of the Chamber and of what we're doing in this new partnership. As you said, my name is Susan Altrui, and I come from the zoo, so a lot of people have joked with me that it's no surprise that I'm taking on another zoo here in Hot Springs, but hopefully that will be changing very soon. I do like to be upfront and honest about what's happened with the Hot Springs Documentary Film Institute. The last few years have been very difficult and very tough. A lack of leadership has led to a decrease in funding, a decrease in support from donors. It has caused a lot of financial trouble to come about with the Institute, but that's something that we're working to change. I'm very happy to announce that we have a brand new board. It is a board with 8 new members on it, including myself, and that we have put in some very what I think are productive and very worthwhile goals that we hope to achieve this year to really bring back the prestige of this institute and, of course, of the annual Hot Springs Documentary Film Festival. One thing that I've recently come to know and that I'm very excited to know, too, I was recently at the Silver Docs Film Festival in Maryland, where we premiered our documentary on Ann Richards, and went and talked to several different filmmakers and asked them about coming to Hot Springs. And overwhelmingly, the filmmakers said, "Oh my gosh, Hot Springs, we'd love to be there." And it really sunk into me that this is a very prestigious film festival. It was the first documentary film festival in the country. It is the oldest documentary film festival in the country. It has had ties to the Academy. There is a prestige here that still holds true. And filmmakers and people in the film industry know the importance of this festival. And I think that Arkansans understand and know the importance of this festival too. And that's one reason why I was so excited to try to help and to try to bring back that prestige for it here in Arkansas, because Arkansans a lot of times don't understand the gym that they have right here in their backyard. I was very excited to get to meet Dave and the other folks at the Chamber, and when I came to them and said we need help, they said, what can we do? And obviously having that kind of an offer means that we started a discussion and came up with what I think is going to be a very productive relationship to help us get back on the right track and to really make this festival a wonderful festival for this year. The film festival is set for October 12th through the 21st, and I'm going to talk a little bit more specifically about that in just a moment. But just to give you a little bit of an overview of where we stand right now with the Institute, we do have a new board of directors. We have made some very quick and immediate things happen there, where we have stopped the bleeding with some of the spending that was happening that was going uncontrolled. We have started to do research and collect financial data from several different years to try to find out exactly what's happened over the last couple of years with the organization. And also we are pursuing a buyer for the Malco Theater and the office spaces and parking lot area. As many of you may know, there were 2 major loans taken out against that property, which is owned outright by the Institute. Those loans total $300,000. Now that we have interest and fees, it's almost $350,000 that the organization is in debt to Arvest Bank to. Arvest Bank has been incredibly gracious during the time period of helping helping and assisting the festival and the Institute to help them get back on their feet. We cannot thank them enough for that. Once I was able to come on board and show some leadership, and then we had other members come on board to show some leadership with the Institute and get this organization back in the right direction, RBS voluntarily withdrew their foreclosure against the building, which is a huge thing for us and a huge thing towards moving forward in the right direction. It allows us an opportunity to sell property or to raise money or a combination in order to save the property and preserve it. One thing that's very important to us is finding a buyer that can maintain the Malco Theater and that the historic nature of the Malco Theater. It's a very key component to the festival and a very key component to downtown Hot Springs. It is a real gem, and we would hate to see that put into the wrong hands. So in our pursuit of finding a buyer, we are looking at a lot of different options, and we hope to have some very good news about that in the near future. In addition to that, we are pursuing donations, both privately and with the state, to try to gain additional funds to help put on this year's festival. It takes money to run a nonprofit, and it takes money to put on an event like a film festival, and we will have to have financial support to do so. And part of why we're so pleased to have our partnership with the Chamber is that we think it helps build back some of the credibility that's been lost with the organization over the past few years. And we're very hopeful that that's going to mean that we'll have a return of some of the donors who had given for years to the organization, but who just felt that there wasn't proper leadership and just weren't confident where their money was going and who stopped giving. So that's something else, too, that we're going to be working on quite a bit. Specifically with the partnership with the Chamber, one thing I was just telling Dave that I really like about this Chamber is I love the slogan, Greater Together. And I think that that's what this really offers, is an opportunity for us to be greater together, for them to help us and for us to help Hot Springs. One of the things that we're going to be doing is having a permanent office space for the next 5 years here in the office, in the Hot Springs Chamber offices. This is a very good thing for us because it means we don't have to have our office in the current office space we have and don't have to waste money on utilities. With that being an old building, it is very expensive to run utilities, and this will allow us the opportunity to save thousands of dollars a month that we otherwise would have to spend. In addition to that, we also have other things worked out with the Chamber. One thing that I'm very excited about is the Chamber has offered to do accounting and bookkeeping for the Institute. And this is something that I think is going to really restore confidence in the organization financially and really ensure donors that their money is being used properly, that it's being accounted for, and that there's some responsibility. Any financial reporting will come to the Board of Directors for the Hot Springs Documentary Film Institute, and we will monitor that. But having someone here on site that can help us with day-to-day finances, help us balance our books, that's going to be a tremendous advantage that we haven't had before and really help us to make sure this organization is doing right by the money and by the donors that are giving money. In addition to that, we've also already had a lot of help from the Chamber in recruiting volunteers. As a nonprofit, volunteers are essential. Right now, the organization currently does not have any paid staff, and we are relying solely on the work of board members and volunteers. And so having volunteers from the community makes us stronger, and it makes us work better together. And we're very appreciative of the help that we've already gotten from Jackie and from Dave in helping us find some of those key volunteers to help with the festival. And in addition to that, we are also very pleased to welcome Dave Byerly to our Board of Directors. Dave has shown tremendous leadership here in Hot Springs and with the Chamber, and we think that he will provide a great deal of leadership with the Institute as well. And so we want to welcome you, Dave, and are very thankful that you've agreed to come on board to our Board of Directors. So specifically about the festival, what can you expect this year? Well, we have some very exciting things to announce. The first is that we have a new festival director, and her name is Courtney Pledger. Courtney is a film executive who has worked in the Hollywood area for the past 20 years. She has supervised budgets as a film producer of up to $150 million on down to $200,000. So her experience runs the gamut. She has an incredible Rolodex of contacts of filmmakers, agents, stars, celebrities, access to people that I think will be very beneficial in the programming of the festival. We are going to have some very exciting things about the festival specifically that we'll be announcing later on in the coming months, but you can expect that we're going to have exciting programming this year that I think hasn't been a part of the festival for the last couple of years. One thing that this festival also does too is it strengthens the film industry for the state of Arkansas, which is an important part of what a film festival is supposed to do. And we're also going to be adding in some very important education programs and trainings for filmmakers and also for students to help grow and develop industry here in the state. One thing that's great about having a film festival here in Hot Springs is that it opens up the doors to filmmakers to say, look at this great town, look at the wonderful things and resources we have here, and invites them to come back to film. And whenever you have filmmakers filming in a town, you have economic development, you have people spending money at hotels, you have people spending money at the local restaurants. And so if we can do things to encourage filmmakers to come to Hot Springs, that's a good thing for Hot Springs and for all of Central Arkansas. In addition to that, we are also going to be working to bring the audience back to the film festival. The film festival has attracted anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 people annually. In the past few years, there's been a slight decline in attendance, where there's been only about 10,000. I say only because 10,000 is still significant, but we want to do even better than that. And to bring back that audience, that means having programming that's attractive to lots of different people. We want to maintain the quality and maintain the fact that Hot Springs really does try to find those unique gems in documentary film, but we also want to make sure that we're offering options to people that really attract them to the film festival. Maybe get those people in who have never been exposed to the film festival before, to get them to be a part of the film festival family. So be looking for some exciting announcements there. So in addition to that, we are just very excited about this partnership and very excited about the future. And we want to thank Hot Springs and thank everyone, especially those of you who came out today to meet me and to hear what we have to say. We're excited about the future, and we look forward to working with each and every one of you.